stromatolites, and this is the largest living stromatolite system in the world. Small fish, tails flicking, threaded through the maze of channels. Beneficiaries, like us, of the atmosphere those tiny ancient cells had generated. We drove away on a road framed by red-orange earth. The land looks rusted. It is rusted. That is exactly what has happened. Redness in earth and rock is usually due to an interaction between oxygen and iron oxide, rust. When the cyanobacteria started breathing out oxygen, initially it did not accumulate in the atmosphere. Much of it reacted with rocks, which contained various elements, including iron, waiting to take it up. Red desert landscapes were painted and are still being repainted by life in this way. The particular stretch of red rushing past our car was most likely laid down by later oxygen producers, but cyanobacteria started the process. Eventually, with this coat of colour laid, oxygen started to hang around as gas. Farther north in Western Australia, you reach Earth that does not look rusted or red-orange. Instead, it is intensely red, close to the colour of blood that is red in us because of the same bonding of oxygen and iron. Cyanobacteria also became the germ of forests, as trees and other green plants contain domesticated descendants of those tiny organisms. The cells in a forest leaf are descended from algae that had engulfed cyanobacteria and worked with them in building living matter from sunlight, water, and air. Cyanobacterial remnants were still inside those algae when they embarked on the multi-celled collaborations that gave rise in time to ferns, pines, oaks, and grasses. The painting of the earth now saw a spread of green from plants that exhale oxygen as they grow. Animals climbed onto land from the sea, their first home, when the greening of the earth was in its early stages. Mosses, not trees. The animals' move began with arthropods, the group that includes insects, millipedes, and spiders. Vertebrates and others followed. Plants had made their way from wetlands and liminal places. Once they gained a footing, their solar-panelled towers turned the land into a place where the flows of energy from sun to living matter intensified. With plants and animals came soil, the Earth's new surface. Eventually, trees became home to primates, along with birds and other animals. Later still, some of those primates came down and started living on broad savannas. They formed bigger groups and then societies, talking, dancing, building. They forged technologies and social forms, embarked on collaborative projects shaped by reflection and foresight, and eventually re-engineered the world as no animal before them had. As our car rolled along, fuel from its tank ignited with some of the air's oxygen. The fuel was made from compressed plankton and other marine organisms, settling in still water and then buried many millions of years ago. The car's steel was made from iron and carbon with the aid of vast amounts of heat, produced by burning other fuels in distant furnaces. Think again about that sequence. Let's run through it speeded up. Cyanobacteria begin emitting oxygen into the atmosphere. Oxygen drives animal life, first in the sea and later on land. Descendants of cyanobacteria become part of plants. On land, a more intense energy flux evolves in the blazing light, along with a tangle of coevolution between plants and new animals. And then, in our own evolutionary line, an initially unremarkable mammal starts to change in